it just felt so right when I woke up this morning and saw that it was gonna be 104 degrees outside, currently in a heat wave where I live, and to be like, yeah, this is gonna be the day that I sit down and film my first fall fashion video. Hi, I'm Caroline. Welcome back to my channel. So, what are the cool girls wearing for fall 2024? What are the fall 2024 trends? The fall 2024 trends that you need to have in your wardrobe. There's actually no trends for fall 2024. What's trending is to not be trendy. The trend cycle as we know it is dead, and therefore so are trends. This isn't the first, nor will it be the last time that I've talked about trends on my channel, and I kind of fall somewhere in the middle when it comes to them. I exist in the gray, you know, I'm a woman of nuance. On the one hand, I think the current accelerated trend cycle can be harmful and promote overconsumption, and with trends and fashion being so accessible, it also makes trends feel very disposable, and ultimately at the end of the day, the most fashionable, stylish thing you could do is wear stuff in your wardrobe and stick to your own sense of style and be true to yourself, blah 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 blah. On the other hand, trends and tracking trends can be fun, and the trend cycle isn't going anywhere anytime soon. It's been around for literal centuries. I do think maybe the way we engage with it will start to shift. I mean, fingers crossed, we all know that that could really use a little change up. With all that being said though, this is still not going to be your typical suedes and the burgundies and the dark denim and the leather boots sort of fall trends video, because while yes, all those things are predicted to trend for this fall, there's already videos out there of people talking about them, and I'm me, and I just always have to be a little bit different. So I wanted to speak on some things that I feel like are going to trend for this fall that I haven't seen as many people talking about, but I do still think that they are becoming more popular. I've seen all of these things circulating more and more online as well as in person recently, and there's a little more unique, or dare I say niche, even though calling something a niche trend feels a little bit counterproductive. I'm really excited to just get into it, pulling out the laptop as I always do when I have videos where we're really getting down to business. I'm doing the important work, you know? These are all trends that I like and I'm personally really excited to start wearing. So yeah, this is gonna be a little bit biased to my style and my taste. It's my channel, I can do that and give my opinions. If you want me to make a video about trends that I maybe don't like so much though, like I can be negative, all right? Like please. Don't tempt me, all right? But for now, for this video, I'm gonna be keeping it positive. So, starting us off with possibly the most unique and most niche trend that I have on this list, which is Juliet caps. Quite possibly the biggest hear me out that I could ask of you, but I promise, just listen, okay? There is a method to the madness that I must obviously be inhibiting right now to say that this is going to be a trend, but it really started about 2 years ago with bonnets. Those knit, crochet, hooded little bonnet, you know what I'm talking about, that started to pop up everywhere. With point A, with all of the knit bonnets and hoods, moving into point B, which was this past spring and summer, these sort of half hat knit crochet situation. They often had little charms hanging from them. I mean, if your Pinterest looks anything like mine, then I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. Making those a little bit smaller, just a little less fabric, and sort of putting them from the front of the head to the back of the head, and suddenly we have ourselves a Juliet cap. Suddenly, we have ourselves that is even something quite snood adjacent. Definitely could be a little bit or a lot of wishful thinking happening here with this one, but it also just makes sense to me from where the trend started to where I feel like it's going. It feels worth mentioning as well that both crochet and knit items, as well as very DIY customizable items, have separately been trending as well as trending together, and this falls into both of those categories, and again, it just seems like the natural progression. I know you see. I mean, me in the fall time with one of my long, lacy, vintage white maxi dresses on, I throw on my brown fringe jacket, my brown leather boots, got my sunglasses, my hoop earrings, all of my rings. I put on a little knit Juliet cap. Ooh. Yeah, we're cooking with something. Speaking of that sort of DIY customizable trend, the burgundy blazer for the fall time. We've all seen it. I've even talked about it on this channel multiple times, but the Birkinification of bags, the Jane Birkin effect, Birkinified, people adding charms and ribbons and lanyards and sunny angels and Miffys and any and everything to their purses. I feel like we've already started to see that extend to other areas of an outfit, but we're really gonna see it with jackets, and I think in particular blazers. Brooches, bows, pins, pin buttons, another thing I've mentioned on this channel countless times, and my constant pushing and shoving down your throat of my pin propaganda. Not only is this a really easy, fun, and cheap trend to participate in because it's taking something already already in your wardrobe, like a blazer, and then taking pins or going to the thrift store and finding them, or the antique mall and getting fun things to add to your jackets or to your blazers. But it also falls into that whole customizable personalization that I feel like everyone is collectively obsessed with right now. Hey there, sailor, because it's time to talk about sailor core. That was really awful. I'm sorry. I'm not ever gonna do that again. I promise. Wow, I can't believe I just put you through that. Huge shock though. I'm once again talking about a trend that I've already mentioned on this channel multiple times, but I really wanted to get into sailor core specifically because I have seen this trend both online as well as in person in like a variety of spectrums. On one end of the spectrum are these more so interpretations with the navy and white stripes and the sailor silhouettes and the sailor collars, all of which I'm a big fan of, especially the sailor collar. However, there's this other end of the spectrum that is very literal interpretations, like wearing a sailor hat. I have seen people wearing sailor hats in real life multiple times, and the way my face lights up every single time, because it is just so cool and cunt, to be quite honest with you. Like, I am, Yeah, to be fair, I live in LA, so kind of, I mean, it's not so crazy to think that there would be these really like fashion forward, more daring kind of, you know, moments happening, but it still is fun and cool to see it, because as fun and fashiony as LA can be, it's also like the land of leggings and sports bras. So I myself have been on the hunt for the perfect little vintage sailor, almost schoolgirl-esque mini dress for a while now. Would have felt more appropriate for summer, but I could see a way for it to work for the fall time. But where I really think we're gonna see sailor core thrive in the fall is with the giant sailor collars, the sort of fisherman-esque sweaters and sort of silhouettes, which actually brings me into my next trend. Items with lobster clasps on them, or I've also seen them called fisherman-esque looking jackets or fireman jackets. My journey with these jackets began where so much of my journeys began, which is on Pinterest. I was scrolling as one does, and I came across this vintage 70s jacket that was selling on Poshmark, I guess. I clicked on it and it wasn't even for sale, so I just had to ask Pinterest personally why you would do this to me, why you would attack me in this way. Such treachery. It's diabolical. From the moment that I laid eyes on that jacket, and specifically the clasps on that jacket, I became obsessed. And it was crazy when I was on TikTok the next day and saw a video from a girl talking about things that she thinks are gonna trend for fall, and this sort of lobster clasp style jacket was on it. And then on Twitter the next day, or X, whatever you want to call that fucking dumpster fire of an app that I just cannot get myself to quit, I saw a tweet of someone saying they're so excited for fall fashion, and they had photos, and one of the photos was a jacket that looked just like the one that I had liked. When I really think about it, it's not all that shocking, because men's workwear has been trending for a while now. I mean, the amount of men walking around Silver Lake looking like blue-collar workers who could literally not change a tire to save their life, it is actually an epidemic. And as much as I criticize them, I am also someone who owns a pair of men's coveralls and does not know how to change a tire, but I am a beautiful woman. So that's not on me to know. If I haven't already made it pretty obvious, I'm not a trend forecaster. I have absolutely no qualifications, just a woman on the internet who likes to give her opinion and thinks she's somewhat perceptive. So with that being said, could you not see Emma Chamberlain wearing a jacket like this? And however you feel about her style, you can't deny the effect that she has on the people. The people online and the trends. I am literally Gen Z. I'm like 2 years older than Emma Chamberlain, and I'm talking about her like I'm an 85 fucking year old woman. Anyways, I could see her wearing this, and then I could see a lot of other people wearing them as well, me included. Give me my knee-high lace-up boots or give me death. Being very specific here with the lace-up aspect of these boots, because the shift from an ankle boot to a knee-high boot has been happening for many years. It's been really gradual. There's nothing super groundbreaking about, you know, a leather knee-high, simple, sleek heeled boot, right? Especially for the fall time. A lace-up knee-high boot, however, which, yes, I do have personal skin in this game because I have my very own pair of these boots that I love and adore so very dearly. And every time I wear these boots, whether it's online or in person, I get people coming up to me and complimenting my boots and asking me how and where I got my hands on them and how they can as well. The pair that I have, they are vintage and they're from the 70s, so they definitely lean into that more 70s vintage boho-esque vibe. But I've seen all different styles of these boots, some that feel a lot more kind of modern and sleek, other pairs that feel almost like more alternative and punk. So I really feel like there's a type of this sort of boot and interpretation of this boot for anyone out there. Moving on to the next trend, which is chainmail. Chainmail jewelry and belts and headpieces and bags and straps on a top that are made of chainmail instead of actual fabric. I follow this one account on TikTok that I'll have up on the screen, and she makes the most incredible custom pieces from chainmail that I would literally harvest and sell one of my own organs on the black market for. I need one so badly. Very much on par with the whole medieval Renaissance revival I've already talked about in this video. This just seems like another kind of a branch of that. As someone who's interested in fashion history, it does make me wonder if I couldn't help but wonder. I do wonder though if the last time that we really saw this whole medieval revival in the late 60s and early 70s, it was when, in at least America, there was a lot of like political turmoil happening, and often when people kind of look to this way of dressing, it's because they want this sort of escape. They like this kind of fantastical and dreamy sort of aesthetic of dressing. It's a lot of like loose clothing as well. Nobody wants to feel constricted because they feel that way within what's happening societally. It's also something that has been linked to boho revivals. Think 2008 and 2009, again, particularly in America. And it just, I couldn't help but wonder if what is currently happening politically and economically and socially, and the kind of like distress that everyone feels, and like something happening this November that I like can't really remember at all, and I'm like totally not stressed and freaking out about, and if that's why maybe people are starting to really lean into this way of dressing again. Just a thought, just a little hunch that I have. But again, who am I if not just a woman? Poncho Princess Fall is upon us. Project Poncho Princess for the fall time is officially a go. And no, I am not just saying this because I started my yearly rewatch of Gilmore Girls because, hello again, it's fall. It's not 104 degrees outside currently, and that is definitely not what is influencing me saying this right now. 3, maybe 4 years ago, if you were to have told me that I would not only like ponchos, but actually own ponchos and be actively wearing them, I would have looked at you like, oh, so you're off your fucking rocker. But here we are. They're cozy. They feel like a great transitional piece for those first few months going from summer into fall. Also another, well, potentially, depends on the type of poncho that you get, but could be a knit or crochet poncho, and that very much fits into the umbrella of knit and crochet items trending as a whole. It makes sense. It's another one of the natural progressions that I'm just noticing happening, and I'm seeing so many more ponchos on people who, similarly to me, 4 years ago would have never been caught dead in a poncho, and now here we are on the front lines pushing for the Poncho Princess propaganda. Victorian pirate core. Think Keira Knightley in Pirates of the Caribbean if she was like an active Pinterest user. Well, I haven't yet heard this exact term used for this way of dressing. There are so many elements to this style that are already popular and trending right now. It's just the name that isn't trending, but everything else is. Lots of layering with cotton and linen and lace and these sheer fabrics and these loose flowy silhouettes that are then juxtaposed with like a tight fitted corset or a vest. Tons of leather and hardware within these accessories and these like big thick statement belts, and then you have that to contrast with all of this really like dainty stacked jewelry going on. So many of the items that make up these outfits too are stuff that I already have in my wardrobe or are again like really easy to find secondhand thrift. I cannot wait to start playing around and getting creative with these outfits. It's just like if we can't all embody Elizabeth Swann this fall, what is the point? Sashes and ribbons. And when I say sashes, I mean like a Girl Scout sash or a Miss America kind of sash. And for ribbons, think like I won first prize and here's the giant ribbon that I got. This is definitely one of the more out there trends in this video, and probably the one that is the least like my style and not something I know if I'm necessarily gonna wear because I don't know how I would wear it. However, I have seen these becoming more and more popular, particularly on Instagram with some people that I follow. Patrick Collins, who, if you don't know who she is, just give her a Google, but she's incredible. She does so much, and one of those things is that she has her own fashion collection, and in her most recent collection, she has a lot of dresses and t-shirts that incorporate sashes into them. I'm sorry, but like I see Devin Lee Carlson wearing a dress with a sash on it, and I know that I'm gonna see other girls start to wear it. It's just the way that the online fashion girl trend cycle works. Stacked jewelry, and really just more statement jewelry in general, but particularly this like layering and stacking of bracelets and rings and necklaces and like full on earring situations happening. Wow, I am so incredibly descriptive and like visual with the terms that I use, aren't I? There's been this trend going around mainly TikTok recently where people are like, did you hear what I said? And it's a video of just like all of the jewelry stacks like clinging together that they're wearing and the jingle and the jingling. I know I keep saying the same things. I sound like a broken record at this point, but it just makes sense with all the other things that have been trending and the natural way that we go from kind of one end of the spectrum with trends to the other end, this whole maximalist clutter core. Let me know if you also feel this way, but something that actually makes me excited to age, because obviously as a woman we are told that like once you get past 25, which I'm already there, oop, I've expired, right? I've reached my expiration date, that it's only downhill, right? You'll never be as like cool or beautiful as interesting as you were when you're 19, which is like fucking bullshit. By the way, you literally could not pay me to be 19 again. However, one of the things that really makes me excited about aging and to combat all this like negative things that we're told is that I have all of these decades ahead of me, hopefully, fingers crossed, that I get to collect all of this really cool jewelry. So when I'm like 50, 60, 70, I can just be decked out in all of this stuff that I've collected through the years, and there's a story behind all of the pieces that I'm wearing. And I know you've seen those women, and I always see them and think, oh my god, they're so cool, and they seem just like so interesting and cultured and worldly, and I really want to be like them. I'm here for any trend that makes me excited to age as a woman, and also a trend that again like feels very accessible through thrifting and vintage and antiques, and also like jewelry passed down through your family, and this opportunity to really like curate and collect these super personable, you know what I mean. Speaking of the trend pendulum swinging, fitted jackets, I've been seeing more and more of. Not cropped. That's a crop jacket is a whole different thing, but just like very fitted to your body. It's almost like you're wearing the jacket as the top. You can't really layer with it. You can't have much going on underneath. The jacket is really like the piece. The more fitted silhouette of these jackets I think has its pros and its cons, because on the one hand it is something that when you actually get into those really cold winter months, which I know nothing about, but if you are someone who really relies on layering to keep you warm, these jackets aren't going to be great for that. However, I do think they're a really awesome transitional summer to fall item, or if you're someone who lives somewhere like me in LA, it's a fun way to be like, look, I'm dressed for fall and for winter, when in reality it's like 75 degrees outside. I don't think I currently own any jackets in this style. To be fair, I don't own a ton of jackets, but I definitely want to get my hands on one. I think, ooh, like a suede jacket for this fall, or like a camel-y colored leather one. Ooh, in like a moto style. Yeah. I'm gonna be doing some deep diving on eBay and Poshmark and Etsy and Depop after this. Thick framed glasses, particularly ones that are a fun color, and I'm gonna say particularly the color green. I have a hunch, and this video is evidence if that hunch becomes a reality. I can reference this. I do feel like it's important for me to acknowledge with this trend that I am, yes, not trying to brag right now, but the rumors are true. I have perfect 20/20 vision, and I've never had to wear glasses to see, but I've heard from people who've had to wear glasses that it can sometimes make them feel like they couldn't be as stylish because they had to have their glasses on. So overall, glasses trending, whether they are fake or prescription, I think is cool, and I am happy that people are really liking it, although I myself wasn't a huge fan of the Bandana style of glasses. Like, come on, do I look like the Miu Miu office siren Y2K sort of girl? No, but it makes sense with how the pendulum of the trend cycle swings, that we go from like the very thin, sleek looking glasses to more of like a statement, thicker frame. I knew as soon as Matilda Jerf posted a photo of her wearing a green bandana in her hair that bandanas were about to be the next big thing. Say what you want about Matilda Jerf and whether you like her style or not, it's how I feel about Emma Chamberlain, which you can feel how you want to feel, but you can't deny the impact that they have on fashion and with the things that they wear and with trends. I'm someone who's been wearing bandanas for years now because I mean I have bangs, and if you also have bangs, you know it's like a toxic relationship. You know, when it's good, it's so good, but most of the time it's bad, and it's really bad, and they don't want to behave. And anytime that I tell myself that I'm gonna grow them out, I only get like 2 weeks into it and then I snap and I'm like, I have to have my bangs back. But because of that, they don't behave most of the time, and so I put them in timeout by putting the bangs back with a bandana. It's cute, it's easy. I quite frankly don't have the bone structure to pull off a slick back bun, and my slightly recessed hairline from when I had an eating disorder and lost hair has not grown back even 6 years into recovery. And so instead of humiliating myself with the slick back bun, I throw the bandana on and I'm good to go. I think the trend is really gonna stay within the hair, and it's gonna be the very traditional bandana print that we're gonna be seeing. But of course, I love bandanas so much because you can wear them so many different ways, around your neck, around your purse, around your belt loop. So easy to find, especially secondhand. Pretty much all my bandanas I found at the thrift store for like 80 cents, but you can also buy them new for also like 80 cents. Big red vertical stripes, a la clown core meets pirate core. Oh my fucking god, if I say the word core one more time, I'm literally banning myself from TikTok. Now, red is my favorite color, and it's been a mainstay in my wardrobe for the past couple of years. However, it's been having its moment, and it's definitely been trending for a while now. And stripes are kind of always trending. It's just the type of stripe that's popular varies. I hate to do it to you again, but I mean, put them together, 1 + 1 = red vertical stripes are happening, and I'm very excited about it. I really want to get my hands on a red and white pair of striped pants. It reminds me of a circus tent, and I love it. I'm very endeared by that. Just another fun, fresh interpretation of something, again, like stripes that are kind of always present in the trend cycle, and this is just the newest variation of it. Moving on to Western fringe, and really any fringe for that matter, but I do think the fringe with a bit of a Western flair is what I have been, and I think we're gonna continue to be seeing. I know I keep making my little jokes about suede trending for the fall time, but I do think, particularly when it comes to fringe jackets, they often are either suede or leather. I see more suede ones, and so it feels like a fun way to play into that trend, but in like a little bit of like a little extra something, you know? It's the suede jacket with a bit of oomph. Because fringe is always going to give you that little extra oomph. I have a couple and love my fringe jackets. The way that these things are so used and abused and ran through in my wardrobe, I could have never predicted how much I would have worn them when I bought them, and now I want to add more to my collection because of how much use they get. I wouldn't say I'm even someone who particularly has a super Western influenced style. I have a couple Western looking pieces, but overall that's not really how I'm dressing. But things like a fringe jacket or a fringe bag, they just integrate into my wardrobe so seamlessly, and I think that's the case for a lot of people, maybe more than you would realize. I mean, even throwing on like jeans and a t-shirt with a fringe jacket and heading to the store, it looks so cool, and there's something really effortless about fringe that I love so much. I got my jackets, I got a fringe bag that I love. Oh my god, some fringe pants, some suede fringe pants I have been wanting for the longest time. However, if you are someone that has a little bit of an ass and more so thighs, like you got a little bit of thigh meat going on, good luck trying to squeeze those things into a suede pant. Or a leather pant, for that matter. It's diabolical. I'm like, oh, this is a personal attack just because I have some juicy thighs. God forbid. Next up and last up for the trends, we have finally made it, which I'm ending off on something which I've already kind of mentioned throughout this video, which is the 2010s boho revival. So many, if not almost all of the things that make up this trend are things that I've already touched on in this video. So what else more is there for me to say at this point? Even down to the whole like, when we are as a society and culture in great distress and we want to do things like have the medieval Renaissance, we also do things like have the boho revival. What the medieval revival was to the late 60s and early 70s is what the boho revival was to 2008 and 2009. We've had other aesthetics trending from the 2010s like indie sleeves and twee, and it just seems like we haven't quite had the boho revival yet. And I'm not just saying this because it happens to be my favorite of all those three, that it feels like it's been starting to happen. I do want to highlight and give a special shout out to both Lisa Bonet and Erica Badu because they literally embody the boho style. They have been doing it for decades now, way before 2010, all throughout the 90s up until now, and I just don't think that they get the credit that they deserve. I mean, if you know about them, then you know, and you know how fucking incredible their style is, but if you didn't, now you do, and you just got some really amazing inspo to look up on Pinterest after you watch this. Well, on that note, I think that that is officially going to be it for this video and all of the slightly unique things that I feel like are going to be trending for this fall, or maybe this entire video is pure delusion and wishful thinking. Either way, I hope that you enjoyed it and found it entertaining nonetheless. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you agree with me or maybe disagree with me. However, I will be deleting all of those comments. I'm kidding. Gee, it was a joke, okay? Totally. I would really like to know though, even more than what you think is going to be trending, things that you're really excited to wear for this fall, regardless of whether it's going to be a trend or not. I mean, I made this whole video to basically just like tell you what I'm excited to wear, so I keep moving. Sorry, I really need to go. My camera battery is flashing. That's gonna die any moment. So, I mean, like always, I really hope that you enjoyed watching this. Stay sexy, and I will see you next time. Bye.